What's up, Upstanders? Dr. O here. And I just wanted to remind everybody that Vice President Kamala Harris is not the president anymore. She lost the election and she's not the one in charge now, but people can't let it go. Like people are still blaming lots of things on Democrats, but are still bringing up Kamala as like being the problem. And this is how you know she's black, right? This is how you know she's a black woman because people don't never let things go as it relates to black women. How long did it take for Janet Jackson to, resuscitate her career after what Justin Timberlake did to her, in that Super Bowl performance? But his career soared and hers declined for a bit. Like, I'm listening to, one of the favorite broadcasts I listen to, regularly, Democracy Now! And one of the guests was on talking about the fact that Kamala Harris signed with CAA to handle her speaking engagements. So, for y'all who don't know what CAA is, CAA stands for Creative Artist Agency, and it's one of the major agencies for booking talents. A lot of the stars that you'll see out there are represented by CAA. I go online and I start sharing my thoughts about Congo, and one of my posts, which got a lot of attention, was the whole thing about, do people care about Congo as much as they do Palestine? And then several people in the critiques go into, oh, rather than talk about Congo, oh, Kamala was this for Palestine, would have done the same thing as Netanyahu, and she was exactly the same, blah, 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 blah. Although they're not saying anything about Netanyahu now. Then I go and I'm talking about Kendrick Lamar and the Super Bowl performance, and I said something to the effect of, you know, is Kendrick Lamar really about protecting black people or all black women in particular when he did things like performing Kigali with what Rwanda is doing in Congo? And then I mentioned the fact that he didn't come out and endorse Harris, and I went on with the rest of what I have to say. And some of y'all are probably about to do this right now in the comments, but I'm here for it. They said, oh, I was with you till you brought up Kamala. And then they go on this long rant about Kamala this, sold out the people that, wasn't black this, sold out Palestine, sold out Gaza, all this other type of stuff. Mentioned nothing about Congo. And just, people are just, and then people, Kamala needs to lead us right now. She tried to lead. And people will keep digging stuff into the dirt as it relates to her, and she's not here. Does Kamala, if Vice President Harris, VP Harris decided to never enter politics again, does she have a right to live a private life? Does she have a right to have a booking agent? Y'all gonna sit here literally get on her about having one of the top agencies for celebrities to help handle the many speech requests I'm sure that she's getting, a woman who never entered the private sector, right? Or spend much of her life outside of the private sector. Any as long as I've known who Vice President Harris was, she's always been in public service. But y'all ain't got no words to say for the fact that Trump is negotiating contracts with Live Golf from Saudi Arabia and the PGA in the Oval Office, but Vice President Harris, who's not in office right now, can't get a booking agent? Like, seriously? And then some of y'all really actually convince yourself, oh, well, I'll get to this other part later. Donald Trump, 10 out of his 31 days in office have been spent in Florida at his resort on golf courses. 10 out of 31 days. Has already spent over $10 million doing that. Has issued like one order. And we can go, his sons right now are negotiating like 4 real estate deals across the globe right now, which is coming back to him financially because they haven't separated that. And then people have really convinced themselves that Kamala Harris would have been the exact same on Palestine. Come on now. That's just nonsense. The Biden-Harris policy as it relates to Gaza was terrible. Even Bernie Sanders talked about that as he still endorsed them because he felt like they could be pushed to do something different. And I can guarantee you, Vice President Harris or President Harris would not be doing things like Trump is doing as turning Gaza into Gaza-Lago, basically, because he wants it to be a resort. Right now, as we're talking, the Israeli community, Netanyahu and his people are actively working to push people out. They're dropping pamphlets saying, leave now before we raise the place. Nobody's going to remember you anyway. Like, come on now. And y'all are really taking comfort in the fact that she would have just been the same, which she would not have done. But the fact of the matter is, she is not there now. And if she was, there'd probably be a lot more protests that I'm seeing right now. So leave Kamala Harris alone. I feel like the Democratic Party did her wrong. I feel like her campaign managers did her wrong. I feel like she did the best she could do in that 3-month span that she had. She has the right to run again. Hey, Stephen A., she has the right to run again, even though you told her she better not. But if y'all would spend half the energy you spend condemning Kamala Harris and direct it towards the people who are actually in charge right now, we might actually be able to get somewhere. If y'all would spend half the energy, a quarter of the energy spent blaming what Biden did wrong and how he wasn't supposed to run again, or spend half that energy voted towards the people actually in power right now, maybe we can get somewhere. If you had a tenth of the activism that you had for Palestine and Gaza, that you had towards Biden, if you had a little bit of that, we could probably get somewhere if you had some of that right now. Would Kamala Harris be robbing Social Security, breaking into the Treasury Department, getting all of your information, shutting down USAID? Harris came on the Roland Martin show, had a great plan for Africa, for the African continent. Any y'all care about Africa here? Anybody? She would have had a different plan about immigration as opposed to sending these guys, people to concentration camps, which I'm going to get into in another video, in another post. So her administration would not have been perfect, but it would not have been this. One of the things that I saw Professor Eddie Glaude say, because he didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, he was all in on Kamala Harris. He didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, but he was thinking in reflection about that was, he said, you know what? If I had voted for Hillary, at least I would have known that we would have known that it was airborne. And what he was talking about was the COVID pandemic. That for even all of the challenges that he had with what Hillary did throughout parts of her career, that she would have at least managed the pandemic better for Americans. This is what politics is, y'all. Politics is a full contact sport. And people say, I couldn't vote for her, I couldn't because of this, because of that. Look, I voted for Democrats and I still hate what they're doing in Congo. But there are other aspects I know are also at risk that I'm not going to say are bigger than Congo or bigger than Palestine. I'm not the one to say that. But I know there are a lot of important things that are also worth voting for, despite what a conscience is telling me, right? A conscience is telling me to get people in power who I can influence, who I can impact. Just like LBJ, said to Dr. King and the civil rights activists, make me change the legislation. Dr. King wasn't even into politics like that, but he saw where the country was going with the Republicans and the Democrats and got on the side that he felt was going to best advance his people. Not perfectly advance his people, but best move the needle. And at the very least, not move it backwards. But y'all still stuck in November. Y'all still stuck in the fall. And acting, y'all got more. Democrats are useless. Democrats are useless. Maybe if you put a tenth of that energy you got towards Democrats, towards Republicans who are actually in charge right now, you can maybe sway some Republicans. And I'm talking about the people in Congress. Are you showing up at their town hall meetings? I'm seeing Republicans show up at Republican town hall meetings. Are you showing up there? It's like the past that many of y'all activists, activists or act as ifs, like that the past that so many of y'all give Trump and the Republicans is disgraceful. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. How are you going to be willing to get arrested protesting for whatever cause you protested in front of, for Congo, for Gaza, for Rwanda? How are you willing to get arrested for under Biden Harris, but not under this guy? Because you scared? Scared to get into good trouble? I mean, when the Black Lives Matter movement was hitting its peak, Trump was president then. And folks were hitting the streets, they were hitting schools, they were hitting corporations, they were getting arrested, all that other time. Like, all of that energy 5 years later is gone. And I'm hoping we don't need another George Floyd moment for that to happen, because there are a lot of mini George Floyd-esque things that are happening every day, especially now that Trump got rid of, you can correct me, the policy, the act, whatever it was that had us document bad behaviors of police, that Biden ushered in, because we couldn't get the George Floyd Policing Act. The actual term is escaping me. Sorry. We couldn't get the George Floyd Policing Act passed. Hey, Tim Scott. But, Biden made it so that, you at least have a registry of cops who are bad actors, because so many, like the one who killed Tamir Rice and the one who killed Breonna Taylor as well, they were getting fired from different places and going right down the street and getting hired again. Like, he was creating a database. Trump just got rid of that. Just got rid of it. Which is basically saying bad cops keep doing your thing. Bad cops keep bad copping. Because they suspended all civil rights cases. And now you got Cash Patel at the FBI for 10 years. So what are we doing here? We're going to keep beating Kamala Harris into the ground? People lose campaigns. People run great campaigns and lose. People run bad campaigns and lose. People run bad campaigns and win. Hey, Trump. So y'all, if y'all really trying to move forward, if y'all really care about moving forward, Vice President Harris, former Vice President Harris's name should not come out of your mouth from here going forward. It just should not. Focus on the Dems that are there. Focus on the Republicans that are there. Focus on Trump and Elon Musk. Elon Musk, who, by the way, just got permission to have the Marshal Service give him a full security detail. So now he has the same security detail as the president with our taxpayer dollars. So they can both show up at events with both their armed entourage guards there. Are we talking about that? Vice President Harris earned the right to do whatever she wants to do right now. And I guarantee you that if she decides to enter politics again, she's going to do everything by the book like she did the first time, because she's not a corrupt politician. But right now, I hope she's living her best life. Let her sign a CA. I'm not saying let her sign a CA. She's signing a CA. That's her business. She writes a couple of books, goes on the circuit. That's her business. But don't dare critique her and not critique what Trump is doing from the Oval Office right now, lining up his pockets with millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and not say anything about it. Because you are a hypocrite if that's how you're gonna do it. And nothing you say about Kamala Harris is gonna change anything right now. She's not there. She's not there. But people still want to beat a black woman down like it's just wrong. It's just wrong. So look, we are where we are today. Now, 2025, we are where we are today. Move forward. Hey, if y'all got issues, and I guarantee y'all gonna see it. Just look down in the comments. I know you're gonna see people down there. Kamala this. Kamala shoulda. Kamala ain't president right now. Let it go so we can go forward. Let it go so we can grow forward. And put the energy where the energy needs to be right now. Mobilizing, educating, organizing, protesting, and getting people ready to vote in the midterms, all of that stuff. That's what we need right now. And if you're not about that, I really question your intentions of what you're actually about. Because some people just live to disrupt. Some people just live to be contrarians, but don't really give a damn about any real action. Don't be an act as if. Be an activist. And fight what's happening in the real right now. Peace.